you have 7 1/2 minus 2 1/4. Put the DVD on pause, and in your notebook, work this problem, then turn the DVD back on, and then we'll go through the explanation together. Well, okay, let's see. 7 1/2 minus 2 1/4. Okay, we're going to have to rename these fractions, or at least one of them. We're going to have to raise it to a higher term, so let's see how this works out. We need a number that 4 goes into evenly and the same number 2 goes into evenly, and we know that we'll start with 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 2 will go into 4, so we can use 4. This is already in fourth, so we're not going to rename it. Now, 2 times what number gives me 4? Well, 2 times 2 gives me 4, so I multiply 1 times 2, and that'll give me 2. So I've renamed this fraction to 2/4. Now the denominators are fourths. Now we can subtract. This is pretty easy. We can 2 take away 1 is 1. So we didn't have to do any borrowing here or anything. 7 take away 2 is 5. This fraction is it's a proper fraction, and it's in its lowest name. So there's our answer. Good. Okay, now, here are 2 problems for you to respond to. And both of these will require you to borrow. So, put your DVD on pause, and in your notebook work these problems, and then turn the DVD back on again, and we will go over them. Well, let's take a look, see how you did. All right, here we have the whole number 8. Take away the fraction 5/6. Well, we can't take 5/6 away from nothing. So I need a fraction up here that has a denominator of 6. So I'm going to borrow 1, make this a 7. Now the one that I borrow, I know I can change it into a fraction that is 6/6. So, the 1, I make 6/6. Now I can take 5/6 from 6/6. 6 minus 5 is 1, so that's 1/6. 7 to take away nothing is 7. And that's my answer, 7 1/6. Again, the key here, the key to this problem is to realize, well, I have to have a fraction up here, and if I want to be able to subtract it, the fraction has to have a denominator of 6. So if I borrow the number 1, and I make the 1 6/6, because 6/6 is exactly the same as the number 1, then I can do the subtraction. Let's take a look at this problem. Well, our denominators are different here, so we're going to have to rename one or both of these fractions. Let's see. We need a number that 9 goes into evenly, and the same number 3 has to go into evenly. And we know if 9 has to go into it evenly, we're going to start with the 9 because it's bigger than the 3. Well, 9 goes into 9 evenly, and 3 goes into 9 evenly, so we can use 9. We don't have to rename this fraction because it's already a 9 in ninths. But we do have to rename this to its higher name. Well, 3 times what number gives me 9? And 3 times 3 gives me 9, so I multiply this by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, now I cannot take 8/8 away from 6/8, pardon me, because 6/8 is smaller. Well, okay then, I have to borrow the 1, so I turn this into a 6. Now the number 1 I borrow, it has to be in the form of 9s, so I'll change the 1 into 9 9s, and I'll combine the 9 9s with the 6 nines, and if I combine them, 9 and 6, that'll give me 15 nines. And now I can take 8 ninths away from 15 ninths. 15 minus 8 gives me, I'm going to put it over here, 7 ninths. And now I take 6 minus 2 gives me 4. So again, here's the skill set. Our denominators were different, so we renamed the top fraction into ninths, 6 ninths. Then we could not take 8 ninths away from 6 ninths. 8 ninths was too big. So we borrowed 1, the number 1 we changed into 9 ninths. We combined the 9 ninths with the 6 ninths, and that gave us 15 ninths. And then we could subtract 15 take away 8, because 15 is bigger. 15 take away 8 gave us 7 ninths, and that's in its lowest name, and it's a proper fraction. And then we went back to our whole number, which it was 7, but we borrowed 1 was 6. 6 take away 2, 4. I must apologize in this problem because there in the working of the problem I referred to this as eighths at one point, and I hope that didn't confuse you. When I said 6/8 and 8/8, that was incorrect, and I misspoke, and I'm sorry about that. Again, I hope it didn't confuse you. I meant to say ninths. Well, wow, there it is, sports fans. That is subtraction of fractions. Again, if you're having difficulty with any of the lessons here, just play them back over again and work them. And if you're in class with me, you can just stop the DVD and come up and ask me. If you're not in class, if you're working at home on your own, then you'll just have to wait until the next time you see me and then ask me about the questions that you have. If you have gotten this concept and you have gotten the addition of fractions down, well, you're really on your way mathematically. That's fantastic. Okay, well, see you next time for multiplication of fractions.